Hey guys, Kurt here with NK Garage, back with another toolbox tool haul today. Now today we're going to dive into this Aviation Mechanics tool chest. So we've got about a 4-foot long Mac Tools tool chest and a couple extra bonus boxes on top full of mechanics tools. Yep, we're about to take off for flight, so we're going to remove before flight. These were in the box. We just found them. This is pretty cool. If you guys don't know, this is what they put on a plane, and it needs to be removed before flight, but it's kind of like a safety check procedure. So there we go. So we have tape measures. We got the Stanley lever lock green here. I like that. I'm going to keep that. I just broke my tape measure the other day. We have some feeler gauges. This is a Craftsman USA bent angle feeler gauge. This one over here is a Calvan. We have several screw starters in here. This one here is labeled Craftsman. This one here is also a Craftsman. That's pretty cool. We got some rulers. The ruler here is a Shure Tumico. These are usually given out by certain brands, this kind of advertising piece. RedViking.com. Erosion boots. We got this little thing. I guess it's a little brass hammer. That's what it looks like to me. Magnetic tool, some inspection mirrors, flashlight, little tweezers. I think this is a loop. Yep, magnifying loop. This is all markers, pen and paper. There's some smaller stuff in these cases. Like this is some kind of something. I mean, there's some valve stem stuff in here maybe. I don't know if that's a valve stem tool or something, I'm not sure. But could be tire related. And this one here has just got some screws and washers in it and some pressure stuff. Kind of like the junk drawer. We've got a Stanley screwdriver, old invoice, some Burt's Bees. Let's move on. Next drawer, we got picks over here. So some of this stuff is junky, like this is just foreign, unbranded. We have Amazon Basics, little precision screwdriver set. Apologize for the mess, but kind of wanted to show you guys the generic tool haul. Picks, snap-on picks. So we got 5 pieces here, blue and green. You probably had one of each set at some point or something like that. Little Craftsman USA precision screwdrivers here, or one of them. The other 2 are cheap. This was pretty cool to find. So this is a snap-on with the interchangeable bits. So this one is a flat bit and a Phillips bit, and you can interchange these bits. We found 2 more of them in here, but I know for a fact that on eBay these bits can go for like $30 or so. So it's definitely a cool find. Lots of screwdriver bits. There's definitely a lot of those. Sharpening stone, some brushes, razor blades, some kind of specialty socket here, multi-tool, Schrade, or it's a knife, okay, little pocket knife, Uncle Henry by Schrade. It's in nice condition too, just needs a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of corrosion there, but the blade is actually really nice. It's a nice knife. Next drawer, we've got screwdrivers and pliers. He didn't have a lot of screwdrivers, but he definitely has some good ones. So we have these snap-on like Instinct set here, flat blades, Phillips, another flat blade, 2 more Phillips over here. This was something, I saw it in the pictures and I knew that was going to be a good one. Ratcheting snap-on screwdriver, the one that takes the interchangeable bits, which they didn't always do that. So these are kind of good to find. This one's in absolute beautiful condition. And it even has a bunch of bits in the back, so that was pretty cool. And these even have the snap-on part numbers on them, so they're the original bits too. So I love me a good ratcheting screwdriver. And to meet that one, we have the stubby model. Clearly he used this one a lot more, so there's that. And let's see if it is functioning. It looks like it's cracked, and he might have gone in here and done some weird stuff with it. So I'll have to play with that. I'm not sure if that's actually in working condition. Little snap-on stubby. You guys might remember in a recent video, we found the snap-on 1/8" drive socket set. Believe it or not, we just found another one. So the last one we had was a vintage with the underline logo, and this one is the modern logo. So that's kind of cool. We got some Craftsman stuff over here. Cotter pin remover, I think, and a reamer. Every time I get one of these things are broken off. It's like, I guess they just, maybe they weren't made that well, or people just abused them. A couple of Craftsman pieces in here, probably fillers for him. Green hard handle snap-on, pretty worn. Actually, nope, that says China on it, so that's a knockoff. And there's a snap-on, long Phillips number 2 there. We have a Proto Phillips number 3, and we have these Craftsman guys in the back. So these are bit drivers, ratcheting bit drivers. We have an angled head, another angled head, and this one has a flat head. So that's pretty cool. Made in USA, all Craftsman. I think the angled heads, they're in the opposite way, so you get the angle either way. I guess you just switch them out for that. Made in USA, little thumb screw turners, and then you've got this. I think these might be like gearless bit drivers, possibly. Let me find a bit. I know I've had them before, I can't remember. Maybe they don't take bits. I can't remember what these things do. Let us know if you remember or have had that before. I think this is kind of a junky kit, little files. We have some Cobalt, kind of like the Craftsman, those power grip pliers. These are just Cobalt versions. There's a lot of snap-on in here. So we have a little snap-on slip joint down here. We have, I think this is another snap-on. It's like an offset angle flush cutter. Look at how funny it's the snap-on grips. That didn't matter if the pliers are small, they give you the big grips. A little pair of ignition pliers here. This one is Craftsman. That's a Craftsman Western Forge slip joint, snap-on slip joint, another snap-on slip joint. We have some Craftsman here. I think, yep, these two are Craftsman. Little thin needle nose, little mini duckbill pliers. This here is Blue Point. It's an Aviation wire twisting tool. I wouldn't be able to tell you guys how to use it. This here might just be junk. I think it's Tool Choice. That's a good one. This might be Craftsman Professional. No, it's Workforce. This is definitely a specialty aviation tool. Made in USA, I think it says. It's got this groove here, and then it has a little open spot there. I just not sure what it does. We got some vice grips. Looks like that is probably modified, unless that was meant like that. It's the 9BN, so maybe that is a bent nose model. I'd never seen that one before, so that's a new one for us. Craftsman needle nose vice grip, and I believe this is Craftsman water pump pliers. Let me just put this back so the drawer closes. Onto the next drawer, we got sockets and ratchets. So he was definitely a Craftsman guy and also a snap-on guy. And his sockets looks like he had to replace as he went. So we got some 1/4" stuff here in SAE. Most of it is Craftsman. I think there's one snap-on socket here. And then on the bottom, it's mostly all Craftsman. One snap-on over here, and then a couple of foreign made. For SAE 3/8 drive deep, we still have some 1/4" down here that is in snap-on, but we have snap-on from here up to here with one Craftsman in the middle, and these are his 12-point 3/8 drive deep sockets. Then we have some Craftsman there as well, and a couple Craftsmans on the back of that rail. This is also Craftsman SAE sockets, mix of 6-point and 12-point, one snap-on here, spark plug socket. Like I said, mostly Craftsman. I understand, you know, there's a budget and snap-on's expensive. We got some long extensions. This one here is a snap-on 24-inch 1/4" drive extension. And I think I kind of understand that with the aviation industry. I feel like there's definitely some harder to reach places. And then here's a snap-on 14-inch quarter-inch drive extension. And then there's a snap-on, there's probably a 18-inch 3/8 drive extension. Nick said he's already claiming that one for himself, and I can't blame him. Real quick, we have a nut driver set, Sears Craftsman, SAE nut driver set, and these are V series in the original pouch, so that's pretty cool. You never really find them like that. And then Nick found me another hidden more extensions. So we have a Matco. This one's, I think, a 14. This one here is Craftsman Black Oxide, 6-inch, and Craftsman VV Series 1/4-inch 6-inch. And we got some ratchets down here and some more extensions. We have the Snap-on 3/8 drive Flexi 8-inch extension. We have a Craftsman tri-wing ratchet 3/8 drive, Craftsman 3/8 drive breaker bar, VVH, probably one of the later years before they went overseas. This here is a Craftsman 1/4-inch T-handle. This here is a Mac USA 8-inch extension, 3/8 drive, little Craftsman adapter here. We have a snap-on adapter attached to a Craftsman 3-inch extension. So that's a snap-on 3/8 to 1/4-inch adapter. A little Craftsman breaker bar 1/4-inch drive V series. This is a Craftsman socket on a Craftsman extension, but this is the plastic grip style. They only made these for a little bit, and it's the only way you could tell it's Craftsman by the part number there. They didn't really label those too well. Craftsman 1/4-inch drive ratchet V series. Works pretty well. Craftsman tri-wing 1/4-inch drive ratchet. All the tools in here work really well. And then we have a snap-on 3/8 drive F936. Definitely another nice one. This here, just a box oil pressure sensor in there. We have one of those pin sockets. I think there's another one with an adapter on it, cheap adapter. We have this snap-on TMC 109 USA 1/4-inch drive, and I guess it's like a bit socket, a locking bit socket. I think I might keep that because that sounds pretty cool. We got some more 1/4-inch drive stuff here, Craftsman universal joint. We got some snap-on sockets, flex sockets. We'll pull those out. So there are 6 of them. They're all 12-point SAE snap-on 1/4-inch flex sockets, and the snap-on 1/4-inch ratcheting breaker bar adapter. I don't think I've ever had the 1/4-inch drive one before, so that's really cool. And then we have a Craftsman socket that is cracked, 8mm cracked. Then in the back we have an SAE set for 1/2-inch drive, mostly Craftsman. There is a snap-on in here, the 3/4. Then we go back to Craftsman, and then once we get above 1 inch, we have 1 1/16, 1 1/8, and 1 1/4, all snap-on 12 points. And the condition on these guys is really nice, and I haven't seen any owner's marks yet at all. 2 times snap-on 1/2-inch drive ratchets. I believe these are the 36 tooth. They're the S936. But for 1/2-inch drive, I mean, I don't mind. I have 2 of these myself, so they're definitely good ratchets. We have a Craftsman, I believe, 3/4-inch breaker bar. It's not much they give you for 3/4-inch. It's only like a 15-16-inch. VV Series 4431. We got some 3/4 sockets back here. Craftsman USA 1.5 inch, and a Proto 2 1/8-inch Proto Professional USA. Then in the back we have probably a distributor wrench made by Snap-on. I think it's a 9/16. Then we have a Craftsman Speed Crank USA, Craftsman 1/2-inch drive ratchet V Series USA. and a junky adapter, and a little badge, MB1200. There's the Craftsman ratchet. Like I said, everything works great. You could tell at one point this guy was really organized. I assume that whoever owned these tools has passed on. We bought it from a guy who does like estate sale cleanouts, so either he bought it for nothing and resold it, or got it for free for doing some junk removal or something. I don't really know the whole story behind it. On to wrenches. All right, in the back here we have a lot of snap-on, and mostly Craftsman back here. 12-point combination wrenches, 1.125", 1" 7/8", another 1" 15/16", 9/16 but modified, 13/16, 11/16, 3/4, 5/8, 1 1/16. I think there was a couple doubles in there, all USA. We have these snap-on specialty bits. So it's like a spline drive, and you put your 1/2" drive tool in here. So it's kind of like a spline drive, kind of like crowfoot style deal. Definitely for something special. I think one of them's a 20mm and the other one's a 24. And then it even is marked on there, 3" offset. Then there's a snap-on. I don't know what to call these. I'm just going to call it a box crowfoot. There's several of these in SAE. So we have 3/8, 5/16, 7/16, and 1/2". Those are definitely cool. We have a snap-on crow's foot set. This is 1" down to 3/8, and I think it's all complete snap-on underline. I don't think there was one piece that was different or missing. And then we have a proto 1 1/4" crow's foot to add to that. I think this is a beryllium tool. Yep, Beryl USA 7/16 wrench. So at some point he needed a non-sparking wrench. Then we got a snap-on double box here, 11/16 by 3/4. And we have 3 pieces of Blackhawk ratcheting wrenches, 7/16, 3/8, and 11/16. Oh, and Nick's showing me we might have the whole set. So there we go. We have a 7-piece set from 3/8 up to 3/4 for these Blackhawk ratcheting wrenches, stubbies. Seems pretty nice. Made in Taiwan, but still pretty decent tool. Then we have the Blue Point, the reversible, offset angle SAE ratcheting wrenches. Pretty, typical for this kind of style wrench. Alright, in the front we have another snap-on, but we'll get to those in a minute because it's kind of part of something else. We have some gear wrench, flex ratcheting wrenches, 3/4 down to 3/8, so that's another 7-piece set. We have a couple lone Craftsman pieces, probably more to the wrench set up there. That's a 3/8 and a 7/16. Then trying to get these all together. I'll bring these up as well. So here is another set. We got 1" 15/16, 7/8. Alright, so then we go down to 11/16, 5/8. There's no 9/16. We got the 1/2", 7/16, 3/8, 11/32, 5/16, and 1/4. So I thought maybe it seemed like a set, but it looks like we might be missing a couple pieces there. But still, that's a lot of wrenches. This little tin is full of ignition wrenches. I'm seeing Craftsman V-Series USA. There's a couple of modified ones in here, so you could tell there was some hard to reach areas for this guy. But that's alright, that's just the small stuff. Little Craftsman adjustable wrench, 4" USA Western Forge. Craftsman 1/2" wrench, severely modified. That's pretty crazy. We have a 9" auto wrench, unbranded. We have 2 of these Craftsman Professionals. So these are the funny angled tip adjustable wrenches, Western Forge USA. I've never had these before, but those actually feel pretty nice with the custom comfort grip. I can still see a little bit of that logo in there. but it's kind of worn off. But definitely cool. I've never had these before, so that is awesome. Proto Professional tappet wrench, 1/2 inch by 9/16. And last thing in here of value is the Craftsman, made by J.H. Williams, because it's got the JW stamp, 12-inch adjustable wrench. Moving on to the next drawer, we are labeled electrical equipment. So this is some junky pliers, or they were Husky. They're not bad pliers. They're just, you know, we're not talking top tier. It's a bunch of soldering stuff. Blue Point soft jaw pliers, probably for the aviation stuff. Taiwan stripper, probably another cheap stripper. Some wire, electrical tape, strippers and stuff. Little T-pins for electrical diagnostic, glue gun, got an amp crimper, more precision screwdrivers, miscellaneous soldering terminal bits and stuff, stencil set, another precision screwdriver set. Probably the only other professional tool truck brand tool in here is this Mac Tools plier set. So precision little mini pliers, and it looks like he barely even used some of these. This one's still in plastic here, the duckbill style. But we have nippers, needle nose, bent needle nose, test wire clips from Radio Shack. That's cool. Like I said, more soldering stuff. This is like a drafting set, just little calipers and stuff like that. And just more wire, soldering stations, stuff like that. Next drawer, we got a couple kits and some machinist tools. So this is the Neotech electronic pressure gauge aircraft kit. I couldn't be able to tell you anything about it. Might be expensive, it might not. I'll just have to learn later. Little Mac tools box. We just got one of these the other day. This one's in much better shape than one we got last time. And it's full of Allen keys. I see a couple Craftsmans in there, and since he was a Craftsman guy, I'd probably say mostly Craftsman. We have smooth bore acrylic drill index. So I guess that makes a smooth bore. Kind of interesting. Never seen these before. They're made in USA, 1/8 inch to 1/2 inch. Snap-on solid carbide burr set, complete. Little mini deburring. That's a pretty useful set. And on top of that, we have the Chromate deburring tools. Got more of them in there. I use these things all the time. This was a little bonus. I didn't even see it when we went to go look at the box because it was kind of hidden. I got it upside down. But we have Martin tools made in the USA. And I don't get Martin stuff that much. It's kind of more one of those like professional commercial brands. Full service set wrenches from 13/16 up to 1 3/8. And if you're not familiar with that term, it's kind of like an engineer's wrench. Just one open-ended side, very thin profile for those jobs where that's all you can get in there. So that was pretty cool. And I might keep this. I think I'm going to have to consider that because I do have a couple bits and pieces here, but nothing like that. Got a Dremel kit with Dremel and some Dremel bits and whatnot. Definitely good to have. I think we already have a couple Dremel kits lying around. Stare it. This is for Nick. He loves this. It's upside down. But it's a dial test indicator style machinist stuff. But it's nice. Stare it dial indicator 655-441J in the original box. And that's pretty cool. I think Nick is looking for that. We got a little soldering magnifier and clip wire holder kind of thing here. Some more Dremel stuff. Chicago Electric rotary tool battery charger. But I'm not sure if I saw the actual tool. We have the little drill master. So he definitely had to do a lot of dremeling and stuff like that. Sears Craftsman little Dremel bit case. We have a Germany tap wrench. There's another Germany tap wrench. This is a tap and die kit. It's also Chromate Industrial Corp, which is just USA made taps and dies. So definitely looks like a well kept set. Didn't look like it was overly used or missing a bunch. We have the butane recharger, Fowler micrometer with the gauge on there, which makes it easier to read, but some guys prefer just doing it the old school. Some guys like this because it's quick and easy and pretty accurate. Depends on how often you have to read a micrometer. Made in USA, telescoping gauge set. The special tool, whatever that is, do not discard. Scissors spacer. Special tool. And then in here is another Fowler set. Not sure if he ever had to use the extended pieces for this, but this is a depth micrometer. So he probably just had to use the standard as it is, the 1-inch range, I guess. We got one more drawer on the bottom, the side cabinet, and then we'll have the two toolboxes on the top. There's definitely some good stuff in here, also kind of a junk drawer. We have a hacksaw. It's made in the USA. I didn't see any brand on it. We have some kind of generic hammers. This one is a Craftsman ball peen, another Craftsman ball peen, both USA. Some little pry bar plastic stuff, scissors, another little pair of pliers, some tin snips. You know, we got Whisk tin snips. I think another possibly Whisk. It says USA. Some files and pry bars. A piece of brass for Nick's collection. He is a brass hoarder. And every time we get a mechanics toolbox, we get some of this, and he takes it. This one here might be Craftsman. Yep, it's a Craftsman model. Then we have a great neck dead blow hammer, a little snap-on dead blow hammer, 5 pieces of snap-on punches and chisels, a bunch more. There's some Craftsman and General, and I think there's one Mac. Various pieces. There's an Imperial tubing bender back here, or nope, that's the Ridge tool tubing bender. Thread repair kit, plastic like Bondo knives and stuff like that, files, and this is an airbrush kit by Badger. So maybe he was doing some airbrushing, something that I know nothing about, to be honest. All right, side cabinet I think is mostly just bits and pieces of junk. Epoxy. There was an extra drawer here, so we have some spare drawer slides, but he took that out at some point. Gorilla Glue in there, some caulk and wire, and we even got nail polish. It's Funky Fingers, 4 bottles, green and blue. But I think that was kind of his color or something, because he had the picks in there, so I don't know what he was marking with the green and blue. But oh, I guess he would put it on his sockets. It's all over all the tools. Okay. So that was his color. Instead of engraving owner's mark, he had the nail polish. But you can get that off with acetone. So, all right, let me clear some space and we'll go through the 2 special boxes. I actually bought these separately. That was an extra $90. All right, guys. So we're ready to look in the red case. I paid $90 for both of these. The other box was $1,100 with all the tools in it. So he had these separate. I feel like they came from the same guy, but he separated them. Craftsman 11-piece half-inch drive impact sockets. These are SAE and they're made in the United States of America. Definitely need a little bit of cleanup, but some of them look like they were never even used, the bigger ones, and then the smaller ones were used a bit. But this is why I bought this case. I saw this immediately. This is a complete set of snap-on impact sockets, metric, 10mm through 19mm, 6-point, in really nice shape. So I know that this is probably a couple $100 on the tool truck, maybe more. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that this case was like $40. So 30. It was $30 for everything in the case, and then he hit me $10. This was on the side. So however you want to see that. We have a Williams adjustable wrench, 10-inch Ingersoll Rand impact gun, and we have this Craftsman little hand drill, and the rest of this is pretty much all Craftsman. A lot of I think it's all SAE because his metric stuff's in there. So this is like his SAE to go box plus impact. I'm not really sure. I think things got mixed up. There's a couple snap-on sockets in here, but like I said, what I was mainly looking for was this, and the rest of that is just a bonus. This box, although the snap-on stuff is worth a lot, just because it's how snap-on is, but this box has got more, and it was more impressive. So this was $40, right, or 50? I think it was 50 bucks. So we got Craftsman. These are old school V series metric sockets, V and VV series, 9mm through 30mm. Of course, once you get above 19, it goes 22, 24, 27, 30. All 12-point, all USA made, matching top knurl set, in pretty good shape. So I thought that was just amazing. You never see that kind of stuff. It's always mixed up, you know, things got broken, warranted, newer stuff comes in. Loose pieces of deep 27 and 14mm 12-point half-inch drive. A lone metric ignition wrench Craftsman. Then his Craftsman 3/8 drive is here. I'm hoping I can put that set together. It might be missing one or two pieces. I'll see. And then on the back, there's two more 3/8 drive, and the rest is 1/4-inch drive. So like I said, probably most of a set. I might have to fill in a piece or two. And then we got more. I think we'll get back to that because we got more sockets. These are old school metrics, more top knurl. Deep sockets, 3/8 drive, 6-point. The bigger two are half-inch drive, 12-point. So 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 12, 11, 10, and 9. And then we got 17 and 19. Then we got more 1/4-inch drive stuff, the deep sockets, a couple shallow sockets. Again, I think most of this, or all of it, is all metric. A lot of that old school V-Series top knurl. Alright guys, so this is why I accepted his $50 offer on that. Is because not only did I see all those great Craftsman USA sockets and metric, but this was the metric wrench roll. I assume, you know, he had to go out to planes very often, so he had to keep tools mobile. There's a lot going on in here. I think I'm just going to pull them all out, and we'll go through them by wrench type, because we got double open, double box, and combination. Alright guys, let's go into the wrenches. First up, double box. Very impressive. There's a complete set plus a couple doubles. So it goes from 6mm all the way up to 24mm. There are 2 of the 1315s and 2 of the 6x8s. And we are looking at V series, V series, VV series, V series, VV, 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 and VV. All nice and vintage. Double opens, we have a 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 20, 22, and 22, 24 with VV, V, 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 and V. Combination, we got 24, 22, 19, 18, 17, 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 2 ignition wrenches and an Indestro 10x11. And these also are all V and VV series wrenches, I think. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So this is all cool vintage stuff. No modern stuff. It's just all decades old, preserved in really nice shape. And even that metric wrench pouch, it's a nice pouch. It's Bull Tools, but you can fit a lot of stuff in there, so that's a cool pouch as well. So I'm blown away. I think it was an incredible haul. You know, we talked it over by the pictures. We were figuring out what we could see that was included, and it was listed at $1,200. And we figured out that there's enough value in here that we could absolutely get our money back by reselling some of it. and then we took the gamble on the rest. So we knew we could come home with a good amount of stuff. We went there. Honestly, I didn't even know half the stuff was in here until we came home and looked through it just now. But definitely turned out pretty good. You guys got to tell me what you think. Let me know if anybody has done aviation mechanics out there before. We want to hear about that. If you recognize any of those tools, let us know. You know, if there was a favorite find, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff. But you know, I definitely love all the snap-on stuff. We'll probably be keeping some of that. But plus, there's tons of great Craftsman, vintage Craftsman tools, so I'll probably keep some of those as well. And it was a good haul, so I was happy to pay. We ended up paying basically the $1,200 anyways. We got a couple extra goodies, but it was successful. It was a good one. Let us know what you guys think. We'll see you on the next one.